Did you know that sometimes history seems almost too bizarre to believe? Let me blow your mind with some of the most mind-bending coincidences that have utterly baffled historians. These are the top 10 strangest coincidences in history that will leave you wondering, could it all really just be chance? Stick around until the end, because number 1 might be the eeriest story you've ever heard. All right, let's dive in. Number 10, the Titanic's prophetic tale. In 1898, 14 years before the Titanic met its icy doom, an author named Morgan Robertson wrote a novella called Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan. In his story, a luxury ocean liner named Titan sinks after colliding with an iceberg. And here's where it gets downright chilling. This fictional ship, like the Titanic, was described as unsinkable, carried far too few lifeboats, and sank in April. Coincidence, or eerie prediction? The book foresaw even the tragic details, making many wonder if Robertson somehow glimpsed the future. But there's more. Wait till you see how these prophetic tales continue down the list. Number 9, the Lincoln-Kennedy parallels. Now, these coincidences are almost spooky. Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy, two iconic presidents, were assassinated under circumstances riddled with strange parallels. Both were elected to Congress exactly 100 years apart, Lincoln in 1846, Kennedy in 1946. They became president a century apart, 1860 and 1960. And here's something wild. Their successors, both named Johnson. Oh, and both murderers, known by 3 names, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, each with 15 letters. That's just scratching the surface of these bewildering connections. Could all this really just be a cosmic accident, or is there something deeper at play? Number 8, Mark Twain and Halley's Comet. Mark Twain was born in 1835 when Halley's Comet was visible from Earth. But here's where things turn surreal. He famously predicted that his death would come with the comet's return, and he was absolutely right. Twain died in 1910, the next time Halley's Comet made its journey past Earth. Many wonder, did he have an uncanny knowledge of his fate, or was it pure coincidence? Number 7, the mysterious birthplace link. Did you know that Adolf Hitler and Napoleon Bonaparte were born exactly 129 years apart and started their rise to power separated by those same 129 years? Or that they faced their falls from grace almost identically separated by that time gap? Both leaders fought battles that eerily mirrored one another in geography and fate. These parallel timelines feel like an unsettling echo through history. Makes you think, how many more of these connections might we be missing? Number 6, Edgar Allan Poe's shipwreck tale. Edgar Allan Poe wrote a short story in 1838, the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, featuring a shipwreck where stranded sailors resort to cannibalism. In Poe's tale, the victim is a cabin boy, fittingly named Richard Parker. Fast forward to 1884, a real-life shipwreck of the Mignonette results in the exact same scenario. And the victim, also a man named Richard Parker. Come on, what are the odds of that? Did life imitate art, or was Poe tapping into something mysterious? Number 5, the twin brothers and their parallel lives. In 2002, two 70-year-old twin brothers were killed just hours apart in Finland, in identical circumstances. Each was riding a bicycle when he was struck by a truck. But here's where it gets downright uncanny. They passed away on the same road, less than a mile apart. What's more, family members reported these twins had eerily similar lives, even choosing careers and wives that mirrored each other. Was it destiny, or something even more inexplicable? Number 4, the curious case of Anthony Hopkins. This one's going to make you question the randomness of the universe. In the 1970s, acclaimed actor Anthony Hopkins was cast in a movie based on the novel The Girl from Petrovka. Wanting to study his role, he searched high and low for a copy of the book. Hoping to find it, he stumbled upon an abandoned copy in the London Underground, left completely by chance. But here's the kicker. When he met the author later, Hopkins learned the book he found belonged to the author himself, who had lent his one and only copy to a friend, only for it to be misplaced. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. Number 3. The Civil War and Wilmer McLean. This one is history served with a poetic twist. The first major battle of the American Civil War, the Battle of Bull Run, took place in 1861 on Wilmer McLean's farm property in Virginia. Dismayed, he moved away to escape the war's violence. Where to, you ask? The tiny town of Appomattox Courthouse, where none other than the war's surrender was signed in 1865. McLean famously said, "The war began in my front yard and ended in my front parlor." Coincidence, or history's way of dedicating a strange symmetry to one man's life? Number 2. The Bullet and the Tree. In World War I, a soldier was shot while fighting in a forest. He fell to the ground, leaning against a tree that absorbed the bullet meant to kill him. Years later, during World War II, the same man, now an officer, was fighting in a different battle at the same location. He was struck by enemy fire once again, but survived, because the bullet struck that exact same tree, carrying the bullet from years before. It's an almost inexplicable story about survival, luck, and uncanny alignment across decades. And now, brace yourself for number 1, the Bermuda Triangle of Twain's cousins. Samuel Langhorne Clemens, better known as Mark Twain, had a cousin with whom he shared an eerie historical twist. Twain's cousin was once aboard a train that derailed off a bridge, plunging into icy waters. He drowned, but people rescued his hat still floating on the water's surface. Twain somehow managed to secure this hat, and years later, when he encountered his own boating accident, his cousin's hat floated to his rescue. A familial coincidence woven so deeply into history that people argue fate's intricate design was fully on display. So there you have it, the strangest coincidences history has ever seen. Every story, a little piece of a puzzle we may never fully solve. Which story stunned you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing episodes of Top 10 History.